When you are ready to weigh your samples out for analysis, you want to bring everything with you to the balance room all at one time, which includes your sample that has been appropriately dried and cooled in the desiccator. Bring it into the balance room in the desiccator so that you're not getting moisture regained from the atmosphere. Notice that I'm placing desiccator on the floor. That's because heavy objects like the desiccator and even your hands and elbows on the table can cause fluctuations with the balance. You also want to bring in your notebook, something to write with, a calculator, and 4 clean vessels for the analysis. In terms of cleanliness, you want to make sure that they're cleaned out: soap, tap water, deionized water. Any water residue, as long as it's deionized water, will not affect your results. Before you can begin weighing samples, you need to assess several things with your balance. You want to make sure that your balance is level, cleaned, and zeroed. For the levelness, always pay attention to the circular area in front of the weighing pan. When you look inside that area, you should notice a silver circle centered inside of a clear circle. If it is off-centered, get your lab instructor to help adjust the levelness of the balance and to recalibrate your balance. To ensure that the balance is clean in terms of dust and particulates removed, open the door using the up and down switch here. Remove the dust brush, which is stored in the balance table drawer. Dust off the pan area and the area around it. Then to zero your balance, with all the doors closed, because air drafts affect your mass measurements, you'll depress right there where it says re-zero in the center of this bar here until you get zeros across the display. It may require you to press it more than once. Okay, in this class you always want to use a weighing technique known as weighing by difference. That is applied to every single analysis that you'll do. You want to avoid putting objects, tearing out the weights, and weighing into them, because in those cases the object that you're tearing has not been analytically dried in the oven. So to begin this process of weighing by difference, it requires the recording of the mass, of the weighing bottle, and the sample contents. So remove your sample from the desiccator with chem wipes and not your bare hands, because oils can affect the masses of objects. Now we want to transfer the weighing bottle to the balance pan. You'll notice that I put the weighing bottle on a chem wipe rather than on the bare table directly, because residues from the table can also transfer to the weighing bottle. To transfer it, you can use a technique of folding a chem wipe in half long ways 2 times, so you have a nice long thin strip of chem wipe that you can wrap around the weighing bottle and pinch the ends so that you have good control of the weighing bottle. To get an accurate mass measurement of the weighing bottle and the sample contents, I want to center the object on the balance pan. Okay, and at this point I would record the mass of the entire contents, 24.6839 grams. Now at this point I want to remove, for this particular analysis, 0.2 to 0.25 gram sample sizes into my container. So starting with container number 1, I would then want to remove approximately 0.2 to 0.25. Okay, removing the cap of the weighing bottle, I'll tip the weighing bottle on an imaginary horizontal. You never want to stick any spatulas or scupulas inside of the weighing bottle. As I rotate on that imaginary horizontal, you'll begin to have solid sample reach the lip of the weighing bottle and will dispense into the beaker. Okay, to continue tapping more controlled fashion, you can tap the weighing bottle against the lip of the beaker. You can also tap one hand on top of the other. Okay, now you'll get good at being able to eyeball the approximate weight, knowing when to stop tapping. But at this point we're going to check and see what the mass is. Okay, so pack the rest of the sample down, put the cap back on, and now record this mass, or we'll see how much has been delivered. Before I removed any sample, the weighing bottle and the sample contents weighed 24.6839 grams. When I subtract the mass now of 24.5853 grams, I've only dispensed 0.0986. That is not enough sample size because the analysis said to weigh 0.2 to 0.25. So at that point, when it weighs too light, you don't record the mass yet in your notebook. You're going to come back to the weighing bottle and you're going to remove a little more sample. Okay, now I'll see where I'm at after removing a little more. And now the weighing bottle weighs 24.4874 grams. At that point, I've dispensed 0.1965 grams. That's close enough to being approximately 0.2. So I'm finished with that first container, and now I would repeat the process with the second container, recording this mass now as the initial mass before removing any sample for the second sample. And I would repeat the same process of removing and weighing by difference until I have 4 samples of the appropriate size. Okay, now what happens if I dispense too much? If you dispense too much sample, you're never to return this sample to the weighing bottle. That's why your instructor will give you extra sample. What's in this container gets thrown in the trash, the container cleaned out and brought back again, weighing the sample before removing and then weighing again after removing until you get 4 samples, all with a appropriate sample size. At that point, if you're going to wait long term for an analysis, you can put parafilm over the containers and let them stay in your locker until you're ready to begin that process.